Happy Sunday to one and all. It is Sunday, and I didn't go to church today. Unfortunately, a young man that I'm familiar with um, took his life on Friday afternoon, right around 11 o'clock in the morning, outside in the same spot he sit. They said every day he would sit there and, listen to music with his little headphones or earpods, whatever on. And unfortunately, on Friday around 11 o'clock in the morning, he shot himself. I I know for a fact I'm still in shock because I can't. My brain can't. I'm not able to really gather myself and be smooth and eloquent in speech about the matter, because it hits so close to home for me. Um, I'm doing this video because I want to, from a Christian lens, just kind of offer again a word of advice. We have quite a few Christian leaders, including Christian entertainers, coming out and saying that what's wrong with the church, why they don't like church, the church is messed up, um, and they're not ever offering any suggestions outside of allow people to do more sin inside of the house of God. That's all they know to offer as a good piece of advice. And here's what everyone are missing: that the people perish for a lack of vision, right? And that's why the people are perishing, because whenever someone start doing something, everybody in ministry want to do the same thing. And that's because they're not receiving any direct revelation, inspiration, guidance, from the Holy Spirit from the throne room themselves. That's a result of their carnality and not being a willing, open, receptive vessel as a leader. So therefore, if you don't have any oil, all you can do is copy someone else's, vision or idea, which could be rooted in selfishness. So we have to be mindful of who we steal from, and that's something these leaders are not thinking about. I think about this baby, and there were opportunities and been opportunities for the longest for them to start offering pastoral counseling to the public, especially when you have so many African American men are the leading demographic of degree credentialed pastoral counselors in the United States. It's African American men. And we have a lot of African American men who are in leadership in these churches. And in their leadership, it never crosses their mind that to use the degree that you earned to go ahead and reach souls that are lost, go ahead and meet the needs of the people outside of your four walls. Instead, they just get the degree to say, I got my doctorate. I got a doctoral degree. I did my dissertation, and but that's worthless in the eyes of God. It means nothing. Because you're not putting it to use. You're not putting a degree with the word and making moves. And see, I think about this baby, and all of those churches that were in close proximity of that child's house, they could have had a program that from whatever time to whatever time, they have counselors available for them to come in, or they can call, and get prayer. They can call and speak to someone on the phone. They could do peer counseling, which is someone who has navigated and dealt with a behavioral health or substance abuse issue, and be able to support and encourage those who are navigating in the early parts of the same type of issue in their life. But we don't have that. We don't have that. We have a whole bunch of people running around trying to figure out how I want to get a grant. I want to get a grant. I want a grant. What about the grants? The grants. My 50C3. My 5. It's of no use because you don't do nothing. You don't do anything. Even the ones complaining, they don't do anything either. All they do is complain. You ever notice that? They don't have any suggestions. They're not coming to the church with ideas. They're just going to the world with complaints and encouraging them not to be Christians and don't attend church anymore. That's all they have to offer. And that tells me that what they're saying is not resting from the Holy Spirit. It's their carnality. It's their flesh. And I think it's funny, the main one, the most recent one, Ty Tribbett out here beating his guns about what he got a problem with the church. You didn't have no problem serving alcohol at your concerts, plural. You had no problem with that. You had no problem with weed being in there. Yeah, people high as I don't know. You had no problem with those things. But you want to talk about you don't like the way the church function. Well, I don't like the way you function because you're missing souls. I don't like the way these men opening their mouth and they're not doing anything to reach these young men who need mental health, behavioral health, and spiritual health and assistance. They need help, and we missing opportunities to serve. We're missing opportunities to help. And this child's life is evidence of that. And I am tired of seeing people losing their lives and taking their lives, to be honest with you. It's been going on way too much. This isn't just him. This is the second one in less than 12 months. Less than 12 months. And it's frustrating because here we are as believers, we're completely ignorant of facts because ministers don't minister anymore. They don't do that. They give self-help and stupid speeches. They don't have these kind of conversations about the mental health crisis that people go into if they're trying to go clean or go sober cold turkey by themselves. How the chemicals in their body and the reactions that they experience, even trying to stop something as simple as CBD or marijuana, sends them into psychosis and schizoaffective similar symptoms as schizophrenia. And all it is, they're withdrawing. And in those windows of time, they can make a decision to possibly lose their lives because their bodies cannot handle the detox. And we don't have these conversations. We don't provide this information. We don't provide this type of outreach. Instead, we got people like dirty, draw, stanking, whoremonger Jamal Bryant telling them, "Oh, come to my church because I want to turn you into a trap man. I want to go ahead and get you out there on my weed plantation. Let's get this money." Those are the people everyone has eyes on. The wrong, they don't have eyes on the right because it's not enough of us having a 21st century vision for ministry, especially men when it comes to reaching men. Like, really, they can't complain about them not coming when you are not addressing the things that they need to address. You're not doing your job. Can't tell a man how to be a man. Ain't no woman got no business teaching no man. Ain't no, well, guess what? You ain't teaching the man neither. You ain't reaching the men neither. You ain't reaching the young men neither. You're not reaching the little boys neither. So now what? Now what? I couldn't go to church today because I'm so angry. I'm so sick of people that ain't no woman got no business. You a woman. It's to the point now. I am not able to contain myself no more. If one person stand in my face, stand near me, be in earshot of me, and say one syllable about what a woman's supposed to do, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail because I'm fed up. I'm tired. People are dying. People are suffering. And I ain't got time to be dealing with nobody about no gender. I'm going to jail because you worried about the wrong thing. I'm going to jail. I mean that. I put that on my soul, on my mother. I'm going to jail because I'm fed up. I don't want to hear anything about no gender when you're not doing your darn job. You don't care nothing about nobody else, but you worried about a woman's gender telling somebody something they need to hear. On my mama, I mean that from my realest part of my soul. May God take the breath out of my body. Say one syllable around me about gender, and I'm going to jail. If I hear one breath about gender ministry, I'm going to jail. It ain't no question about it because I'm that angry. I am that fed up and we are in that much of a crisis. I don't want to hear a breath of it if you're not talking about getting out there and actually showing up and providing what people need instead of you telling them the woman need to do. Say it again. Say it in front of me. Say it. Say it. Let me hear it. Say it. And I swear for God, I mean that with everything in me. I will leave here. You understand? With no problem. Because I'm sick and tired of people dying. I'm sick and tired of people suffering. And people want to be talking about genders and sexuality, and ain't none of you working. Let me make it clear. Ain't none of you working. Ain't none of you really doing what you're supposed to be doing. You stuck on the superficial and the external, and you are not working in the eternal. Therefore, I'm I'm going to jail. That baby should have had help available, known, and widely spread and advertised about Christian ministries and help centers and everything else available to help that child. And many more like him from coast to coast, west to east, east to west, north to south, and south to north. It should be everywhere. Northwest, north, south. It should have been everywhere. It should be that heavy reaching out to people. So say it to me. Let me hear it. If I ain't no women got no business preaching no man. I will bust. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear another word from anyone on this subject. If you're not out there and dealing with what's really going on around here, people giving up, then you might as well stay home on Sundays. Because you fooling nobody, you fooling yourselves. Okay? If we can't really get the work done, what are we doing? What are we doing? Male or female, what are we doing? Okay, one church should be feeding the homeless. One church should be helping with utilities. One should be providing counseling services. One should be providing childcare services. One should be providing transportation. One should be providing like a little health hub where they can get medical advice, literature on diabetes, high blood pressure. Another one should be providing financial education and resources. The problem is everybody want everything up under their little funky house and don't want to work together. We're not all eyes. We're not all toes. We're not all ears. We're not all chins. We're not all thighs. We are not all abs. We are not all the same. We all serve a purpose when we work together and serve people. When you have people who are able to spread that work out, I just named 7 different outreach initiatives that could be housed at 7 different churches. They don't even got to be the same denomination. Let's just get it done. That's all. Get it done. Save lives. Lead people to Christ through your works. Show them how to get there. That ain't about gender. That ain't about race. That ain't about age. That is about the facts of the matter and what that word says. I don't want to hear another word about the men, the women. That I don't. Let me tell you something. I don't care. I don't care. Nobody really cares. See, the people hurting, the people thinking about taking a pill bottle or taking a weapon and hurting themselves and leaving here don't give a good god darn about what your gender is, what your sexuality is, what the men versus women, they don't care. That's what these fools don't realize. They don't care and it's not relevant. It is irrelevant when we're talking about people need to be saved and people are in trouble. And your money, your little funky lucre, that ain't it neither. How did we get so far gone and far so way to the left? People sit, well, and then this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you are not talking about a program, if you are not talking about an initiatives after your complaint, don't even discuss it. Don't even. You need to take it and pull it clean out of your brain. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to discuss it because you don't want to do anything about it. Okay. So if you have a problem with something, you're not about taking action. You need to just think it and delete it from your brain immediately. Otherwise, it's taking up space that could be used for a solution that may come to you at a later date. Dear, we have children in crisis, and I am tired, especially when it comes to these little black boys. Okay, they don't have nobody, and they're not getting the help they need. You have men out here, don't be with no single mother. Stay away from them single mothers. I saw a nigga. I said it, what I said, what I said. I saw a nigga right on Facebook. That was yesterday. He wrote on Facebook, "Oh, I see there ain't gonna be nothing but a bunch of single mothers and a bunch of inmates." He was talking about children. He was talking about children on a video dancing to music, and this is the kind of stuff that's coming out of the mouths of people that look like us. So how can someone feel comfortable coming to the people who look like them, beating the living snot out of them, and they're supposed to come to them for help? We have real things we need to address at this time, and I can admit it. I am angry right now. I'm telling you, this baby didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that. He deserved to be helped. And these people want to talk about what they don't like. They don't like, they need to change, and that's what's wrong. If you don't have an idea, shut your mouth. Find somewhere else to go or something else to do. Common sense, hard stop. You grown. That's all. Whereas we got kids out here who don't have that option. You understand? So we need to be preparing and presenting and providing options for these children to be helped. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. You grown, you got options. Get in your car and go somewhere else. Go across town, go to another city, state, borough, township, wherever you got to go. You got options. A child doesn't. And that's my focus, and it has been for a while. I am tired of giving a clarion call about these little black brown boys who need help, and nobody want to talk about what's happening to them. I I have to stop because now I'm getting more angry because the information provided to them. They're being sexualized before they're 10 years old. They're told about having the size of their penis. They're being told, look at a girl's butt, look at her breast, sexualizing women. They're being told these things before they're 10 years old. Then it evolves. They got to prove their masculinity. They have to be a cookie cut idea of a checklist to be deemed masculine. They're being bullied. They're being harassed by people that look just like them. They are crying out for help, and it's too much for anybody to deal with and live with. That it doesn't matter because I'm a woman and I'm saying it. We just got to wait for a man to get his head out of his behind or his testicles out of his brain and his penis out of his brain. And we have to wait until they show up so they can provide that advice and insight. We just have to wait. Yeah, we just have to wait because as a woman, I have no business saying anything. How dare I say anything and be passionate in sense, righteous indignation about the life of little brown boys when what do I know? How dare I? Really? Yeah, I'm a woman. So we have to wait until the men feel like it's important. In the meantime, babies taking their own lives, grown men taking their own lives, while we wait for the brothers to decide that it matters to them. Yeah. I didn't remember my place. I'm sorry. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I let me get in here and make some cookies and some of this good old fashioned peach lemonade. Um, Yeah, I may make a pie from scratch. I know I'm sure there's some baseboards that need my attention. So I'm gonna leave this conversation alone. Yeah. And wait for the brothers to do it instead. Uh-huh. Yeah. Let me go remember my place. Yeah, yeah. That it's not my place to care. It's not our place to care about the lives of little black and brown boys because we're not black and brown boys or black and brown men. Yeah, that's the rationale. Sitting in these funky dens of filth called churches. That they don't they are missing these babies. They're missing these babies. How can you miss that? How can you ignore that? Like really? Let me go in here and get my womanly duties. That's what I exist for.